boop, and then boop, and then boop. Boop, and then boop, and then boop. And now real quick, I have to check to see if anybody is home. Because if somebody is home, I don't want to check, scream and shout too much. Is home. Because if somebody is home, I don't want to check. Let's scream and shout too much. Okay, somebody's home. So. Oh my god! I'm freaking out, dude! I'm freaking out! I'm freaking out! Oh, I need to put the link in the description. Freaking out, dude! I'm freaking out! I'm freaking out! All the like shit is wrong because I'm just like flying by the seat of my pants here. Okay, I'll just put it. I'll put it in the description. There we go. They're fucking doing it, dude! They're fucking doing it! Hold on, I'm gonna get is this full charged? Oh my god, I'm gonna like throw up. I'm so excited. Dude, there are so many fucking people I want to like call right now just to be like, hey, get fucked, it's coming back. Oh, that reminds me, I need to tell my channel to not be appropriate for children now that FCC thing has gone through. Let me do that real quick. Because although I don't think my channel is unfriendly for kids, I would rather err on the side of caution, I would think. You know what? I'll wait. I'll talk to some folks about it. It's happening! It's fucking happening! So, oh my god. Oh my god, I'm so fucking excited. And my desk is a mess. Dude, I never thought they were going to do it. I never thought they were going to do it. Like, I hoped beyond hope that they were going to bring it back, but I can't believe they're fucking doing it. Like, I didn't think they were going to bring it back for tabletop at all. Like, I thought it was just going to, I thought best case scenario, we might get, like, new stories or something. But the fact that they're bringing the fucking game back, oh my god. Like, oh man. Dude, everybody who sold their fantasy stuff is going to be pissed. Oh my god. So for anyone that's joining, I know a lot of people are going to be coming in. We're going to have to repeat this a lot of times, but that's fine. So literally just a minute ago, Games Workshop put out an announcement that they're releasing a new game called Warhammer The Old World, which is going to be they're bringing back Warhammer Fantasy for stories and tabletop. So they say they're saying in at least 2 years. So probably longer than 2 years, but in at least 2 years they're bringing fucking fantasy back, dude. Like, oh my god. Oh, there are so many people that can suck a dick today. Like, oh, fucking foul can bite me. Fucking all this shit talk about Warhammer being, it's so weird that they're backtracking so hard about the end times. Finally. Oh my god. Hold on, I need to text this dude. Like, I was fucking working on some stuff. There's a lot of stuff I've been working on, and unfortunately some of it I won't be able to show you guys anytime soon, because it's for a totally unrelated thing. But that's what, if you've been wondering where I've been this week, it's because I've been working on a project that eventually will bear awesome fruit for you guys, but it's way off in the future, and I've just been like going really hard on it. But I'm so excited. I am oh my god, I almost started crying. Well, this has to be purely Total War related, or maybe not purely, but the video game sphere has to be entirely behind this. There is no Age of Sigmar has fucking nothing to do with it. Like this is huge. Now we don't know exactly how it's being brought back. You know, I don't know if they're like gonna just drop us into 9th edition and they're like, boom, here you go. Like, here's all the races. Here's just the game back. Or if it's gonna be like, if it's gonna get like the same treatment that 40K and stuff is. Mr. Happy Boomer, the RPG is already back. The Warhammer Fantasy RPG is in 4th edition right now. But they brought it back a bit ago. Speaking of which, I have new episodes of that. So if you're one of like the 300 people that watches the roleplay here on the channel, we actually had a session 2 days ago. And all the episodes are rendered. I just have to upload them. But, Luke, why do you think it's a mistake? Because, I mean, the thing is, there are so many people that want to get into fantasy because of like Vermintide or Total War or any of those other games, and there's no reason to, or you know, they want to get into it, and then you go to your local store and they're like, oh, you can't do anything. Like so the fact that they're bringing it back is such a big fucking deal. Like it's fine to play. Oh, you mean more of like a legit RPG? Oh, okay. That would be great. Which there's totally a chance for that. I mean, Warhammer is like so hot in the video game market right now. Like for the first time in its life, fantasy is kicking the shit out of 40K, and it is hilarious, and I love it. Like, don't get me wrong, a part of me feels bad, but I'm not gonna lie. Deep down, I laugh every day that Dawn of War 3 just bombed, and Warhammer Fantasy is like taken over the world and is just crapping all over 40K. It's great. It's great. Oh my god. Hold on, let me mess with some stuff here. Yes, Warhammer Fantasy is coming back. It's not coming back for a while, but it's fucking coming back, and they just told us a minute ago, and I am having a near heart attack. They are bringing back Warhammer Fantasy. It's not the Age of Myth. It's not Age of Sigmar. It's fucking fantasy. Oh, yeah, I am full of Schadenfreude. St. Augustine, that is 100% accurate. If I had to make a PC game for AOS, what would I want it to be? Talon, right now, there's a Underworlds game coming out. And when that comes out, I think that would be the best place to start it. They need to start off small, in my opinion, for AOS stuff. And here, I'm going to go ahead and at everyone with this, because this is fucking huge news. Because the thing about this means that, like, one of the things I've been legitimately worried about and been kind of having to think about is that when Total War Warhammer 3 was coming, that I was looking at like all of my knowledge and my love of the game was going to become useless at that point. You know, like I could tell stories, but it would fall out of relevance. But this means it's going to keep fucking going. Like, this is such a big deal. For me, you know, or, oh my God, this is so big. So big. I mean, I don't, like I said, we don't know, what all it means. So is AOS dead? No, AOS isn't dead. AOS is fine. It's just, I think Games Workshop realizes that there is a divide between a fantasy community and an AOS community, and there'd be some overlap. I think there are people who would get into fantasy that will not get into AOS. And I think there are people who will gladly play both. So this is just Games Workshop reading the terrain, looking across the world and being like, you know what? A lot of people seem really, really into fantasy who maybe don't want to play AOS. Because, you know, I've been talking to people who are like, man, I love Warhammer Fantasy, but I hate that I have to, you know, I have to do just AOS. You know, if you want to play old school dwarves, old school Empire, Bretonia, Tomb Kings, those things were all dead, and you were just screwed. And now that seems to be no longer the case. It looks like they're looking at it and they go, you know what? You know, Horus Heresy, people collect those models, play the game, read the lore like crazy, and it doesn't hurt 40k, it strengthens 40k. And this is the same fucking thing, dude. Like, fantasy coming back, I don't think is going to hurt Age of Sigmar. I think what this does for Age of Sigmar is actually helps it a bunch. Because the thing, in my opinion, is that when you have... we've got people just kind of pouring in. We'll hop into a video game here in a second. I told it to go on Vermintide, but I don't know if I'm going to play Vermintide or not because I kind of want to focus on you guys. I'm trying to get my Total War to sync over to something, so maybe we can do some Total War. But yes, Warhammer Fantasy is coming back. It's not coming out for at least 2 years, but they're releasing a brand new tabletop game called Warhammer The Old World, and it is Warhammer Fantasy. So they're bringing it back. We don't know the full extent. So far they've only been focusing on talking about the Old World, but presumably it's going to be the original 16 races. What about Age of... Oh, yeah, we could do Age of Mythology. That's true. I kind of want to do something relevant, but we might switch to stuff in a minute. But this is huge, dude. Dude, Armando fucking right! I'm freaking out over here. Like, I'm trying not to yell because I don't want to fuck up my throat, but... this changes everything. Dude, dude, yeah. It has to be a square base for 10-1. I would have been genuinely upset if you didn't square base it. Okay, and Steam wants to do a restart. Of course it does. I'm going to let my game finish updating. Yeah, Fantasy is coming back, dude. Fantasy is coming back. And, you know, especially because it's 2 years off, I am really, really hoping they're retiring just most of the Fantasy line and just giving us new models. This is amazing news. This is fucking hype, dude. This is the best. Man. Fantasy has been dead for 5 years, dude. 5 years. It's just been in a ditch. And it got one of the most disgraceful send-offs in history. Did I change? No, I haven't changed any of my bases, dude. I actually talked to someone at my store about that. They were like, hey, you gonna move all your lizardmen to round bases? And I was like, no, that's heresy. Like, I will never play lizardmen on round bases. Nighthaunts? Sure. Round bases for ages. Now, what I'm guessing is if they're gonna bring back fantasy, they didn't give us a lot of details. I mean, that's kind of the thing, is looking over this post, all they literally did was that they posted a picture of the actual Old World itself, and were just like, and they literally were just like, oh yeah, if you want to do some Aegis, or if you want to do some Warhammer stuff, go play video games. That's literally what they said. Yes, they want fantasy to be the Horus Heresy, but the important thing, the important thing is that it's not that they're saying fantasy is going to be just the Horus Heresy. They've literally said fantasy is going to have its own tabletop game. They say we're bringing it back to tabletop. So we're getting models, we're getting gameplay, we're getting rules that's supposed to be about fantasy. What's the difference in bases? It's not a huge deal, but in fantasy they had square bases because your models were supposed to lock together into cohesive units. Whereas in Age of Sigmar, all of the models are on round bases, so they can be a lot bigger and in more dynamic poses, and they tend to be spaced out in like skirmish formations. In fantasy, you wouldn't do that. Fantasy, pretty much everybody is just in a box. I don't think, I don't know, man. The rules, God only knows what the rules are going to be like. But I am. Do I think it'll be done through Forge World? No, I don't think so. Because the thing about Horus Heresy is it's not really a game. Horus Heresy is it's a collection. Like it's collectible models that you can generally play that have rules for in a 40K game, but it's not like its own individual game. But Hendrik, I'm almost certain they are not going to be moving the storyline. Because the whole point of this is they're treating it as a Horus Heresy scenario, which means we're probably going back to the lore of 8th edition, and that's where it's going to freeze. And they're just going to probably release an assload of lore books. Like, this is going to be huge for lore, I imagine. Like, this, because fantasy is frozen in time now, hopefully that means they're going to get to go back and be like, okay, the end times is really fucking stupid, so let's go back and clean up the transition from fantasy to Age of Sigmar. And let's write a bunch of stories focused on the world now that it's frozen. Because a lot of the time they didn't want to update, they didn't want to write that many hardcore books on a lot of the lore because the universe was not stable and it kept like moving and stuff. But the thing is, the end times is always going to have happened. I don't think there's any way of avoiding that outside of alternate games like Total War Warhammer, because Age of Sigmar is still big and Age of Sigmar is still like the big pappy as far as like money is concerned. And for Age of Sigmar to happen, the end times have to have happened. So the end times, like, everything is locked in. I think it's just that they're bringing back the game so that you can play it on tabletop, and hopefully we'll get like some cleaning up so that maybe all the lore that's contradictory will not be contradictory anymore. And stuff like that. There might be rules for alternate timeline like scenarios, but that probably won't be the main focus. There won't be books about alternatives. Like, they might be like, hey, here's like updated stuff. It just, yeah. Oh, this is so big. And the thing is, guys, this means that we might actually see new races in Warhammer Fantasy. We might finally see Games Workshop go back and try taking on Araby, Cathay, and the other two tribes, the Kurgan and the Hung, and maybe they're gonna update and give us the Total War Warhammer races. So maybe we're gonna get Norska as its own army book and the Vampire Coast. Like, they're gonna go nuts with this stuff. The Horsehair Age, Kara Haas. I don't think the Age of Myth would be any good though for AOS, because the whole thing about the Age of Myth is it's literally just like a few really select characters fighting creatures that are so big that it just defies logic. Yeah, Kislev. Yeah, absolutely. So, I think that we are on a beautiful new world. Like, shit is going nuts. I'm so excited. Like, like, my only wish, my only deep wish is that I wish they had announced this a long time ago, but based on the fact that it's not coming out for a few years, I have a really strong, I don't know why they're announcing it now then, but there has to be some thing that I don't know about, or I'm trying to think what it could possibly be. But maybe it's because they've been squatting so many fantasy models lately. I mean, when they released the Auric Warclan book, the Free Cities of Sigmar book, and then they're releasing the new Slaves to Darkness book, and then we're probably going to be getting new Lizardmen and stuff. Maybe because those books squatted a massive amount of models from the fantasy ranges. And a lot of people were really upset, especially about the High Elf range, because a lot of people were like, ugh. So maybe maybe that's why they're finally making this announcement. But this with it just now coming up, this pretty much means that this just happened. Like 2 years in advance, I feel like they just started work. If you guys will excuse me, I'm going to change to my comfortable headphones real quick. Because I have 2 pairs of headphones. I have one that requires a charge and one that doesn't. So I'm going to switch from my wired ones to my wireless ones. Oh my god! Dude, I have so much adrenaline in my system right now. I got a message like a couple of random people. Oh, this is so awesome. What the fuck? Oh, I think I accidentally. I don't know what to do with all this energy. Been live streaming, which still am, but I'm freaking out. Oh, oh, there's a YouTube video. Oh, okay. So Spartacus just told me that Games Workshop just put out a video that because the Horus Heresy is coming to an end, I guess they're moving that team, or not necessarily that team, but like what they want to focus on now is the oh, here chat, let's watch this video together. Where's my headphones? Let's watch it together, guys. Here's a real live reaction for you. Let me make sure the audio is to the correct headphones. Properties. I believe this is right. Testing. Well, here, we'll do a test here. Okay, could y'all hear that? Were y'all able to hear the blah? Turn off the camera. All right, let's watch this, chat. This is a video that they just put out. Square bases! Square bases! Ha 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 ha! Coming not soon. Like, seriously, this is years away. Oh my god, that's so amazing. Did they put out anything else about it, or is it just that? Okay, I think it's... Oh no, there's this one?
So, Tony, what does the Horus Heresy represent to the 41st millennium?
Well, the Horus Heresy relates to a time of legend that existed 10,000 years before the 41st millennium, and it's great because it's added a wonderful backstory which allows us to have a range of models, a game, and a great background that actually leads us into 40k and makes 40k even more exciting. One of the things I actually often thought was, wouldn't it be great if Age of Sigmar had a similar sort of thing?
Ugh, they're so cheeky. How did I miss that announcement yesterday? Oh my god. No one saw it. Oh, I didn't turn on the thing. Fine, we'll watch it again. It's this one. Yes. Oh wait, I got rid of it. Whatever. Hold on. I could. No. Warhammer TV. Now you can see it. Look at the glorious. It's so beautiful. Square bases. It's so beautiful. It's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. Oh, I need new shit for the channel. I need all of the banners, all of like everything to be new about, and with that logo. That is the logo we're using in this area now. No more of that fucking Total War Warhammer logo or any of that other stuff. Like, I can't believe they're doing it, chat. I can't believe they're doing it. Why is my restream chat all fucky? I'm not dropping any frames. But my chat is like super behind. Okay, I'm gonna refresh the page. Maybe that'll fix it. Restream, I really don't like you. This is, oh my god, this is so exciting. The fact that it's just, I can't believe Games Workshop is like, wow, yeah, this thing is totally fucked. All right, let's try this again. I'm gonna have to open up a different like thing for restream. 1 second, guys. I can't see whatever you're typing. I'm sorry. Hold on. I have to open the chat separately because I use Restream because I want to include the people from Twitch. I wonder if the guys at CA like knew anything about this. Oh my god. I just can't believe they're doing it. Like, this is... Okay, now I can see you guys again. Bringing back Warhammer Fantasy. I never in a million years thought we'd actually get to see it. Like, I thought Games Workshop would just be stubborn and take it to the fucking grave about the biggest mistake they ever made. Like, to see them double back on it is insane. Like, I have never seen them double back. Yeah, Christmas came early. Oh my gosh. Shadow Fox, like I said earlier, I don't think it's going to be... I don't think it's going to be about... I don't think it's going to be exactly the same as the Horus Heresy. I'm getting like so many messages. Oh, I just got like, what the fuck? Okay, I'll check that out later. Yes, I will be making a long video talking about this. I mean, heck, we're doing a long live stream talking about this. That's why CA is delaying Total War Warhammer 3. I do not think those are related. I have it. I feel fairly confident that that's not related. Um. Like, oh, this is so cool. Okay, so, what's going on? Fantasy is coming back, nerds. Yeah. They also put a hint right at the bottom of the reveal page that we're going to Hish for Age of Sigmar. So there is a very big AOS campaign probably about to start. And we're going to Hish, which is great. I thought we were going to Olgu first, but it looks like we're going to Hish. I feel like 25% of the stream is Lore Master Sotek going, oh, it looks like my game is fixed. Let me double check it real quick. Soon, but not even Blizzard soon. Yeah, right. Oh my god, I'm so fucking excited. Like, man, it's good, man. It's good. Chaos Dwarves are coming in. I mean, you can still buy Chaos Dwarves. Chaos Dwarves are still for sale at Forge World, and they're playable in AOS. Excuse me for one sec, guys. My dog's coughing kind of bad, so I'm gonna go check on her real quick. One sec. Hey, you okay? Excited. Oh, sorry, y'all were probably just listening to the gameplay. All right, so yeah, we can play some. Total. Chloe's fine. Yeah, I just checked on her. Oh my god. Let me check. What should we do, guys? I mean, I am just gonna be rambling about my thoughts on this for a good bit. Would y'all rather me ramble to killing rats, or would you rather ramble to me doing something else? Also, Spartacus, yes, I too am freaking out. Thanks for the $2 donation. When's my next AOS video, lore video coming out? Probably next week. Other stuff that I gotta tell y'all about is that so this morning I was going to record the oh gosh, what's it called? The oh yeah, the next Who Would Win has been recorded and it's being edited as I speak, and it should be ready. I think we're gonna release it on Wednesday, so tomorrow I'm gonna put out the video that's gonna announce all the matchups, so everybody can make their predictions and stuff. So you have that to look forward to, and it's done. Like, it's done. And it'll be done well before Wednesday, but it's gonna come out on Wednesday because that just seems like a good day. You know what? Yeah, I'm actually okay starting a... Oh gosh, that sounds loud. I'm actually okay messing around on a... I'm going to shrink myself down here. Messing around on an Empire campaign for a little bit. Because it turns out I'm missing an achievement. Which is Heresy. Because I'm a hardcore completionist on Warhammer games. And I'm missing the achievement for beating a very hard Empire campaign. And it hurts me. Okay, so let's talk about potential things we're looking at, like how this may have changed, what we're looking at, like, change-wise. And I'm gonna make sure that I have all the mods that I want. Okay. And you should be doing that. Yep, good. Oh, Italian. Yes, I would love to do that. Play on Legendary. Okay, that's fine. I'll. What Empire character should we do while I'm rambling? So. Oh God, gotta take my pills real quick. I have one pill. I think it's called Buspirone. It tastes like hot garbage, y'all.
I am Tyrion, heir of Anarion.
Legendary. Sure, why not? I hate myself. Franz. Where's the new greenskin Q&A? I'll get it out when I can. So I think the biggest things are that the biggest things are that we're looking at
Empire's blessings, yes.
we're going back in time to 8th edition, but there's no reason that we can't go back further. It's got to be Empire, guys, because I need the achievement.
The Empire.
I think Turin just did a France campaign not too long ago, so I'll do Gelt. I'll do Gelt. It is. Oh man. So, we know for a fact now that we're getting square bases back. So if we're getting square bases back for a fact, then we're likely going back to a very similar gameplay style to 8th edition. I'm really curious how much of the models they're gonna keep, or like if they're gonna like completely redo the model. They have to be redoing the model range. But if they're gonna keep square bases, I'm wondering if they're just gonna like clean everything up. Can I check Twitch chat? I can read it here on.
Hail to you, Lord Balthazar.
Oh, I actually haven't heard
Emperor
this intro yet.
invokes you to defend the Empire's southernmost borders, for this is a place under great threat, in need of your great power. The green-skinned scourge already have a foothold here, overrunning the former trading town of Steingart, and threatening to expand northwards.
The issue.
Across the dwarf-delved Black Mountains, a brutish horde of savage orcs prepares to enter the southern pass. A prime opportunity to test the newly built fortifications at Fort Saul.
I actually haven't played this
Meanwhile,
campaign yet.
The states of the Empire constantly jostle for recognition in an uneasy coexistence.
I think I played Volkmar
Karl
when it came out or
Franz
something
seeks
like
to
that.
strengthen his position by dealing with threats to his court.
Yeah, Warhammer
At the
Fantasy is
fringes of
coming
the
back,
Empire,
100%
however,
for real.
There is no time for petty political squabbling. Few men wield more powerful magic than you, Supreme Patriarch. Show your enemies the true extent of your arcane might.
Okay, so I'm gonna, real quick guys, I'm gonna turn the stream
Your
off.
burgeoning realm.
I'm just gonna leave it like this, but I'm gonna turn it off really, really quick. And the reason I'm gonna do that and then turn it back on is so that I can change the title and stuff so people understand what the hell's going on. And I heard a noise. What?
You crashed the game.
Shut up. Aslo donated $2 to the super chat. How's your uploads going? The D&D and lore videos. Also, thanks to the people following over on Twitch. I should be able to see your... You know what? I'm noticing I'm not... Well, no, it says I'm connected to Twitch. I'll keep an eye on it. Who is that? I opened the Twitch front page for a second. But oh my gosh, dudes, this is the best. This is the best news I could have possibly heard. Ah, okay, there we go. Okay, I can't see Twitch chat. Great. No, I'm not in a voice chat with anyone. I literally opened the Twitch front page for a second because I was going to go to my Twitch page and look at it. Okay, I'm going to turn off my stream for half a sec so I can change the title and then come back so people can actually, like, pop in and... You know what? No, we'll leave it. I'll just when I make my, like, big thoughts video later this morning about everything, I'll just do that. That's fine. All right, we're good. So I mean, this is so big because there are so many completely brand new things we might be seeing brought to the game. Like, we know that because of the opportunity of bringing fantasy back, we know they're going to go back to 8th edition lore-wise at least, because they've said that they want to treat it like the Horus Heresy leading into Age of Sigmar, which means that they need to return to fantasy as it was before the end times, and probably treat the end times as kind of an Age of Sigmar or a Horus Heresy-esque scenario. But I'm hoping what they're really gonna do is just, like, really go back, and we could be looking at, like, a major cleanup of the lore, which would be great, because, like, one of the things that's super duper stressful for me, and probably most people, is that, you know, there's not a lot to... The lore is... Why do I have Vanguard deployment on Gelt? That's kind of weird, but okay. Maybe it's from his rune thing or something. But, you know, that could be a huge deal. Like, if they went back and cleaned up the lore, that would be fantastic. And the other thing is that this would allow us to actually get to see things that we've never seen before. So, like, we could, well, not never, but, you know, this means we could see Cathay. This means we could see all of those other countries. We could see the Southern Realms get brought back. We could see the Dogs of War get brought back. We could see so many things that were essentially retired from the game leading into the end times actually get, like, updated so that they work in the modern setting. You know, we can figure out precisely, okay, what is actually going on? What is actually canon? What's actually happening? Will I be continuing with the D&D and other lore videos? Yes, Aslo. I don't have a time on the next big lore video, but the D&D, as you call it, the Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay, I recorded 5 new episodes of it. Can I turn down the in-game volume a little bit? Yes. I recorded 5 new episodes of it yesterday or 2 days ago. So those will be coming out very, very soon. Probably tomorrow or today, probably tonight. Could they? Yeah, so yes, hopefully we're gonna see like the minor realms getting lore. And what I really, 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 really hope is that means that not only are they gonna get more lore, but maybe that means that we'll actually get to see them in like Total War Warhammer. You know, maybe I don't know if y'all remember, but I kind of brigaded a big vote Games Workshop did on like, what do you want to see in the future for Warhammer? And I was like, hey, we should all go on there and talk about how we want frickin' Warhammer Fantasy back. And a lot of people actually went through with it. And I remember I got some really snarky messages from people about that. Because they're just, they don't understand. But yes, Warhammer Fantasy's coming back. Uh-huh. There's a link in the description of the announcement, so you know I'm not just pulling it out of my butt. And it's not April 1st, because, man, could you imagine if this had been an April 1st joke? Like, how fucked up that would have been? Oh my god, that would have been... I don't even want to think about that anymore, never mind. That would have been, like, literally the worst thing in the universe. But yeah, they're bringing it back, dudes! They're fucking bringing it back! So you're saying you did this? I wish. Dude, if Games Workshop came out and was like, we had this super annoying nerd just bugging the shit out of us and he wouldn't stop until we gave him back Warhammer Fantasy, I would be so proud of myself. like, I would not even feel bad. Like, this is super exciting. Because don't get me wrong. Like, I've been enjoying Age of Sigmar. Like, I play it. I've been collecting the models, painting the models, all that stuff, and I'm very excited for where the lore is taking us next. You know, the whole thing with Hish and all that. But it's just not the same, dude. Like, they're so different. Sotek, the new red shirt guy. Oh, well, this is more of a pink, but yeah, I didn't dress up like a normal. Well, I don't usually dress up for streams, but I was like, oh, maybe I should clean up a little bit, and then I saw that thing, and I was like, oh my god! We just need you to brigade some more polls, and we'll have ended world hunger. I don't know about that one. It's maybe my birthday. Nope, my birthday is not for a good couple more months. So there's plenty of space to not immediately step on the end times, right? It depends.
I'll move.
There are a lot of different ways you could interpret their whole thing about it being the Horus Heresy of the Horus Heresy of the Age of Sigmar universe, because technically most of the stuff that leads into AOS, its like big moments, was during the end times, but it had a ton of setup way before the end times. So I'm honestly not sure where they're gonna go with that. Like, I honestly have no idea. They might decide to just say, you know, screw it, we're good. You know, let's just do whatever. I don't know. It depends.
Huntsman General, what's the quarry?
Oh, okay. This is different. State troops. No, growth.
Huntsman General.
I can't get any of those yet. I will take some archers. And this will do growth. And I'm not gonna get anything. Well, go and recruit something.
Waste my potential.
Okay. Grudge of Drong and its sister scenarios can make a comeback to allow for bouncing around the timeline. I would not be surprised to see them bounce around the timeline. That was, sorry, that's what I was trying to get to. I really do think we're gonna bounce around. Like, I would not at all be surprised if going back to fantasy, we get like full playable scenarios, or at least new looks at really famous wars, like the War of Vengeance / War of the Beard, or the Sundering, or the initial Chaos Invasion, the Great Cataclysm, or the dude, if we could get another look at the Great War Against Chaos, so we actually got like a playable Azavar Cool, or the Ever Chosen Before Archaon, or we got like a playable Magnus the Pious, that would be huge. Because like those are characters who are so important to the story of Warhammer and by proxy Age of Sigmar, and we know very little about them. From now on, only suits? Dude, no, fuck that. Curse Fanatic, I was a musician for years in like classical music. I had to wear a tux to everything, or a suit. That part of my life is gone. Never again. Are they we don't credible? We don't know the full extent of what it all means. The only thing we know is that they are bringing it back, and it's going to serve as a like detailed focus on the world of Warhammer leading up to Age of Sigmar, which means it's probably going to start in like the it's probably going to start in the nitty-gritty of it. It probably is going to cover the entire time span. I mean, it's only 10,000 years. The Warhammer world wasn't really that old, in the grand scheme of things. But well, when people started like actually using timelines. Do you think we're gonna get proper novels for Grimgor, Karl Franz, and Thorgrim? I hope so. You know, one of the biggest failings, in my honest opinion, of the of Warhammer Fantasy old books was that we did not have lore, or we didn't have a book for Karl Franz. I always thought that was the weirdest dang thing in the universe, was that Karl Franz didn't get a book. Like, that always bummed me out, because he's the Emperor. He's kind of really important, and they just, they never really gave him a focus, and I always thought that was super lame. So I'm really, really hoping they'll take this opportunity to correct that. Let's put these guys right here in case I need to reinforce where those archers are, and we'll put these guys up here to activate that tower. That tower's activated. That tower can't see anything. But I am elated, beyond elated. Shoot a fire arrow at this orc.
Scout leader!
Hopefully. Ah, missed. What happened? They've announced that Warhammer Fantasy is being brought back. They're going to be releasing a new game later. Oh, okay. What? He just fired off like a whole nother arrow. Grenade. Maybe. Oh, nope, that didn't work out. Just oiled myself. But they announced that Warhammer Fantasy is coming back in about 2 years, maybe. We know it's coming back. How long it's going to take to come back is totally up in the air. Yeah, Franz was right. The Empire will endure. Absolutely. Truly, there are no sweeter words in the English language. Okay, let's move over to there. I don't have any backup dudes on the ground. Oh, no, don't move. Don't move. Just shoot.
Spearmen! At the ready! Skate troops! Ready! Tank position! Targets! Die, scum!
Have him shoot down there.
The Empire endures!
And you know what? I need backup on this wall. Okay, these guys can peel off.
Tank the ground!
We've got archers firing in on the flanks. both these sides. That's great. Are they on the walls yet? Yes, they are. Fire. Well, so, guys, one thing that I do want to make really clear is that Age of Sigmar is not going anywhere. We're actually about to, like, start a new big campaign for Age of Sigmar. Age of Sigmar is doing very, very well. Like, it's doing very well financially. It's not going to be... Fantasy is not replacing Age of Sigmar. They are going to coexist, which is what they always should have done in the first place, in my opinion. So we're finally getting to where we should have been all along, and it feels awesome. So Warhammer, so the games that they're going to be having is we're going to have Age of Sigmar and Warhammer Fantasy, and that's weird. He like shoots the attacks, but then not really. I guess it's because he can't see or something. A little goofy. Oh, they actually beat those orcs back. All right.
We are ready.
Well, I guess I'll put y'all back on the wall. Bring back Gotrek and Felix into fantasy, right? Oops, sorry. Got people messaging me. I keep getting a message every couple minutes where everyone's like, fantasy's back, and I'm like, I fucking know. This is such a good feeling, guys. This is the best news I could have gotten. When does Warhammer 2 take place? Oh, okay. So Zach Guy. So what if someone's talking about just Warhammer, then if they know what they're talking about, most of the time they're referring to what's technically known as Warhammer Fantasy. So Warhammer Fantasy is this game that I'm playing right now. Fantasy was the original Warhammer game, and after a while, Fantasy kind of got to a point where it essentially, for whatever reason, they decided, well, for a myriad of reasons, they decided to try turning it into a different game, and they did, and they gave us something that we now know as Age of Sigmar. And Age of Sigmar takes place thousands and thousands of years after Warhammer has already ended. So this game, Total War Warhammer, this game takes place a good little bit. Generally, the Total War Warhammer games start immediately after the coronation of Karl Franz, who's one of the emperors of the Empire. He's the current one, if you want to think of it that way. And so that makes almost all of the Total War Warhammer games starting in the Imperial year of about, I think it's like 2501, 2503, somewhere in that ballpark. And the end times, which was the end of the world, happened in it started in 2520-ish and ended in like 2525. It took like 5 to 6 years for the end times to go through everything, if memory serves correctly. Having a good day? I'm having a fucking great day, dude. Bretonnian versus Tomb King's box set at the intro. Although that would be hilarious, it's probably going to be like Empire versus Warriors of Chaos, or Empire versus Greenskins. It's probably going to be like one of the classic boxes. If I make you on the ground, will you shoot him? Okay, thank you. I don't want to kill him. I just want to get him low on health so that we can finish him off later. There we go. "10 out of 10 clickbait title?" No, because Warhammer Fantasy is coming back. Games Workshop just announced today that Warhammer Fantasy is returning. They're bringing it back. They're bringing it back. It's not a dead genre. It's not a dead game. I am no longer an archaeologist.
Your death shall be over.
Is the end times writing really that bad? It's kind of bad. Like there are parts of it I enjoy, but I would never say it's good. That would be a legitimate lie. Like, but this is legitimately the most fantastic news I could have possibly received when I woke up, when I like got up today.
What?
The end times feels rushed. It's because it was rushed. The end times was very, very rushed. I think they vastly underestimated how much effort it was actually going to take to do everything they were trying to do.
Warriors.
Huntsman
General.
And bad things happened because of that. Oh, how I want to chase him. I think I can beat him with this. Yeah.
Close in and kill.
Give me that money.
A deserved promotion.
Okay, Skull Takers are dead. That's great. Let's unequip all this stuff. And then we're going to retire this dude for now. Okay, now we will retire him because we only needed him to deal with the orc problem, but we want to build up our finances and get Gelt to have a big spooky army as quickly as possible. Let's get Glittering Robe and Plate of Rust, and then let's grab 2 more spears and some archers. Oh wait, yes, because I get those from this building. Good. This is a great... No, so Age of Sigmar is still around, and it's still going to continue. It's just not... It's just fantasy is also going to be happening at the same time. The end times happened, but the world didn't end, and we continue in a new apocalyptic world? No. So, the new fantasy is going to be fantasy before the end times happened. We don't know exactly how much of the times... So, for Warhammer Fantasy, there's roughly 10,000 years you have to cover. So, like, from when Chaos showed up in what's known as the Great Catastrophe to the end of the world, you have about 10,000 years. So, we don't know where on that scale they're going to start. You know, it could be that they're literally going to, you know, start at the beginning and start working their way forward. Or maybe they're going to, like, just pick some important points. I have no idea. It's very scant on details at the moment. The only things we know, even remotely for certain, are just that we're getting the setting back and it's going to be playable. Which, in and of itself, is a very big deal. But how that actually ends up working out is kind of a mystery. Be honest, would you be upset if they admit they were wrong and just deleted the whole end times? If they came out... I'll say this. If they came out and said, hey, so for part of this project, we're going to just redo the end times. Like, we're just going to start at the beginning from when the end times started, and we're going to completely rewrite it to make it a lot cleaner, I would be super excited. Because the end times was super duper messy and lazily put together. But they are treating it as a Horus Heresy type scenario, which means that we're not going to see an alternate universe. It's not... Do not get on a train and say to everybody on board, we're going to go down to fantasy and we're going to start an alternate timeline where the end times didn't happen. Don't do that to yourself, because they did not say anything that suggests that. All they said to us was, hey, wouldn't it be cool if there was something for fantasy like 40K has, where you go back to get a really detailed understanding of where you got to now. Which means that nothing that happened in fantasy is going to change. The world still is going to blow up. Archaon still wins. And the world dies. And Sigmar gets thrown off into space. And Age of Sigmar happens. Because you can't change what happened in fantasy. Or else that would make AOS's lore totally fucked. Like, it wouldn't make sense. It'd be like if they were like, okay, we're going to go back to 30k and 40k, and we're going to explore a timeline where the Emperor didn't get put on the Golden Throne. Like, that would totally fuck everything. So, it's not a reboot. It's not a... It's just they're going back to make the game playable on tabletop, which for me is the biggest deal. And then maybe they're going to go through it and clean up all the lore. So I don't think of it as a reboot. Maybe a soft boot, or like a soft reboot, would be a good way to think of it. But ultimately, it's just them. It's just them not ignoring it anymore, which is such a big deal. But yeah, there's no way in hell they are going to mess. Like, they might change the way that things did happen, but they might, but overall, all the things that happened still have to happen. So, like, they could go back and redo the end times and say, okay, we're going to go back and change it so that at the end of it, Archaon still wins, Nagash still gets resurrected, you know, all the big points happen, but we're going to go back and clean it up so that all of the storylines have, like, a nice opening and close, and it's, like, a really nice, concise idea. That would be super duper cool, but that's probably, like, the best case scenario. Seriously, can I have my lizard boy? Yeah, Yukisa, I feel the same way. I'm so happy I did not give in to the hate and, like, sell my lizardmen, get rid of my lizardmen or rebase them on circle bases. I'm so glad I kept them on their square bases. If Warhammer Fantasy happened thousands of years before Age of Sigmar, then certain characters not being killed wouldn't affect it. They could change small things, but there are a lot of things that happen in fantasy that you can't change, because you have to remember, a lot of the characters that are in Age of Sigmar who are still alive and are big people are, like, from fantasy. Like, all of the gods in Age of Sigmar are Warhammer Fantasy characters. Nagash, Sigmar, Tyrion, Teclis, Grimnir, you know, you have Gotrek there, you have Alariel, you know, there are, you know, Alariel has to have still fused with Ariel from the Wood Elves at a certain point. You know, Malekith still has to lose a good portion. Malekith still has to have half of his body destroyed. All that stuff. The last thing I want is for people to, like, get super hyped up about, like, a complete retcon on fantasy, which is just not. That's like, I hate to see people get really wound up about something that's just totally unrealistic to hope for. Like, I think the main goal of it is just they realize that fantasy is really popular, people still want to play it, and that's what this is about. Like, hey, you still want to play fantasy? Great, we're going to give you a way that you can do that. But, you know, other than that, I'm not really expecting much. For me, that's a big enough deal to be over the moon. You know, I'm hoping kind of beyond hope, that as, like, a kind of bonus, maybe we'll get lucky and they'll come out and say, okay, we're gonna also, like, re-release some lore books and clean up the lore and yada 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 yada. You know, hey, you wanna have a book on Karl Franz? Here you go. Or hey, you wanna have, like, a trilogy on Karl Franz or Grimgor Ironhide, or you want to understand the Chaos War some more, or you want to see maybe what happened in Cathay, because we never covered Cathay really in a way that was satisfying. So now that we haven't done that, now we can go back and do that. You know, they can't change what happened in the end times very much, but there's no reason they couldn't go back like thousands, you know, hundreds of years before the end times and be like, hey, let's give you all the nitty-gritty details on this really important war that like shaped part of the Warhammer Fantasy world, but you know, you don't know a lot about it for whatever reason, you know, because we didn't think it was popular enough at the time to cover it or whatever stupid crap. I'm just, yeah, so for all that stuff, I'm very, very excited. I totally forgot to tell those guys to retreat.
For the Emperor!
Everybody charge!
We serve the Emperor! Free company! Yes, sir! Spearmen! Get them!
Alright, and I need to start casting magic all over the dang place.
I am master of power. Armor melts.
Do you think they'll make more models for fantasy specifically? Yes, 100%. Because they're squatting the entire fantasy range right now. And they've been... It seems to me that the reason we're seeing such a long gap is because they want to redo all the models. Which, you know, there's a very real chance that when they release, when they like are like, okay, here's the new fantasy, it's not gonna have all 16 armies in it right away. You know, there's a really good chance that they're gonna say, okay, like here's fantasy, but it's only gonna have 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 armies to start, but they have all brand new models, yada yada yada. You know, which would still be awesome. Like, I'd be super down for that. You know, I am very curious to see where they're gonna go with a lot of this stuff.
I am master of power.
Sputters the target! Crossbowmen! For the Emperor!
To deal with these orcs.
Moving! For Heldenhammer! Attack!
Haste gold magic.
Outriders are doing their job.
Armor melts.
Free company! Ready for war! For the comet! Ready! Great swords! No lingering!
I'm really pissed that Karl Franz essentially ceased to be since Sigmar nicked his body. I was not a fan of the Sigmar subplot in the end times. Alex Snyder's Dark Souls world. There we go. That was a mouthful. I was not a big fan of how they did that at all. I think it would have been. I understand why they did it, especially because they just didn't want to make a new model for Sigmar. But I genuinely wish they had like done that with Valten instead and just let Franz like die being a badass or something. Sigmar stealing Franz's body was not great. Like, Franz died fair and square, but Sigmar basically possessing his corpse was... I was not a huge fan of that storyline. Because, you know, you had all this stuff where they were making Karl Franz out to seem like he was, like, super amazing and all this shit. And we barely got any screen time with him. That was the other thing. Is that, like, we barely got to see Franz at all. During the end times. And then when we finally got a lot of screen time with Franz, it turns out it wasn't actually Franz. It was just Sigmar pretending to be Franz. Because he didn't want to freak everybody out. Sigmar, like, fist bump Karl Soul on his way back? Maybe. Hopefully. You know, hopefully he'd be like, hey, bro, you mind if I borrow this? And there are... yep, nothing I can do. There are a lot of rumors that the celestial I forget what his name is, but the dude who's in charge of the Stormcast Eternals, there's a lot of rumors that he is Karl Franz. He just, like, that's what Sigmar did with him, is that he made him into that, like, super powerful Stormcast. But it's just a rumor. Nothing has been absolutely confirmed one way or the other yet. Local militia would be awesome. That's going to be really important early game when I'm just trying to get cheap stuff. Let's turn this to public order. The Celestin Prime. Yes, thank you. Yeah, he should have used Vulcan for it, but they wanted to... I guess they wanted to keep in the whole thing with Archaon beating Vulcan from the Storm of Chaos. I don't know why they did so many allusions to the Storm of Chaos during the end times. Like, it was like, oh, look at all these cool, like, Storm of Chaos references. And it was like, we don't really need them. Like, maybe a couple of Easter eggs would have been cool, but they tossed in too many Easter eggs. You absolutely cannot deal with Age of Sigmar. That's okay. I mean, it's not for everybody. Just redo AOS so it's... Dude, no. World 777, that would be way too much work. And that would piss, like, everybody off. You can't just rework a really popular franchise. Like, they are way too different. And plus, all the people who've already invested a lot in books, like me, would be fucking pissed. Like, that would not be okay. Like, there would be very, very little reason to do that. The benefit, yeah, that would not be worth it at all, in my opinion.
Get at me!
Alright, he's suffering from attrition, so we're just gonna let him do that. What would I add to the end times? So much that I probably shouldn't get into it. I would want to completely redo it. Well, I would keep it the same until the end of the book called Nagash, and at the end of Nagash forward, I would completely redo it. I would, like, change all the things. I'm okay with revoking Age of Sigmar. Well, that's great for you, but a lot of people, myself included, have spent a shitload of money. I really like Age of Sigmar. I think Age of Sigmar is awesome on its own 2 feet and is really, really great. Like, I wouldn't want it to be messed with. And I'm super duper excited for the upcoming Hish campaign. But, yeah, but all my friends who sold their own models are so pissed that it's coming back. Yukissa, I was thinking about that. There has to be so many people. I know people who burned their stuff. I know people who legit took their models out to their barbecue or somewhere, covered it in gas, and lit their armies on fucking fire. And I bet they feel like jackasses right about now. Which is kind of funny. Like, I feel bad for them, but it's also kind of hilarious. I don't... This has to be a very recent decision that they've announced very far in advance. I'll tell you what, guys. I bet eBay for all of the old Warhammer Fantasy models is about to get wild. Like, there's probably going to be so many people looking to buy up whatever their old favorite army is. It's going to be super interesting to see how the model stuff goes. What's my average frames per second when you're zoomed in on fights during big battles when looking at the rest of the army too? If I'm zoomed in and looking out across the battle on a big fight, I don't know. I almost never do that. Jaemon, yep. Yep. It happened. There was a ton of people who burned their own stuff to, like, protest. It was the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Lore Master of Sotek. Age of Sigmar isn't going anywhere because of this. The 9th Age, on the other hand, dude, I could not care less about the 9th Age, guys. I'm sorry. Like, they started off really, really well but then they turned the game into just this freaking abomination. I despise the Ninth Age because they started off so good, and then they just completely flubbed it. But yeah, they're probably. I don't know if they're gonna be that affected. Honestly, because the thing about the Ninth Age guys is they changed their game so drastically from 8th edition fantasy, it's not even recognizable. Wanting to start playing Age of Sigmar, any advice? Yes, go to the website, take a look at the armies, and find out which one speaks to you. And if you're like, oh, I care more about the lore than the way the models look, then try and think about what kind of aesthetic you want to go for. Because honestly, I think liking the army that you want to play is more important than anything else. And once you know what you want to play, whether it's like you're just like, oh, I want to be the good guys, or I want to be the bad guys, like with Chaos, or I want to be the crazy, destructive, almost mercenary stuff with it's Josh CA. Dude, Josh! Did y'all know about this? The Warhammer Armies project is a great project. The guy who did the Warhammer Army project did a really, really good job. But I think he went too far with it a lot. And his books, he does a really awesome job making professional looking books, but he's always caused me like nightmares worth of work because he does such a good job making his books look professional that people legitimately think they're like the actual books and go nuts with it. I know nothing! Dude, I'm so excited. I have to give a massive round of applause to all the developers at Fat Shark and all the developers at Creative Assembly for keeping the hype for Warhammer Fantasy alive, because this would not happen. This would not have happened. No way this would have happened if it hadn't been for Total War Warhammer and Vermintide keeping up the interest in Warhammer Fantasy. These two things are 100% directly correlated. There's no way about it. So like huge mass respect and eternal worship to Creative Assembly for keeping Warhammer Fantasy alive for 5 years. You know, long enough that it's being given a chance to come back. What do you think the possibility Games Workshop will renew the old stuff like Free Peoples for the return of fantasy battles? So here's what I think. I think all of the models that have been squatted are going to get new models when the game gets re-released. I think all of the models that are being kept in Age of Sigmar, which granted most of them are either very new or just relatively nice looking models, I think all of those models are going to stay. I think everything that's getting squatted is quite frankly just stuff that Games Workshop is like, we're not keeping this for fantasy. We're going to get new stuff. Eighth edition was kind of a mess. I loved 8th. I loved 8th edition. It had a couple of little issues, but all of the issues with 8th edition, at least in my opinion, oops, I totally forgot about my Outriders. All of the issues with 8th edition, in my opinion, could be very easily solved with like community rules. Like it was very, very easy to fix. I was not as big of a fan of like 6th and 7th edition because I had a lot of issues with the 7th edition. I think was actually the worst edition because the power creep in 7th was unreal. 7th edition Demons of Chaos, 7th edition Lizardmen were broken as fuck. Like it was obnoxious how overpowered everything was in 7th edition. How long until they bring out new figures? 2 years at least, maybe longer. This is definitely a you're gonna have to be patient, guys, kind of scenario. You know, this is not something that's gonna come out anytime. We're probably gonna be like a good way into Total War Warhammer 3, and Total War Warhammer is probably gonna be wrapping up, and Games Workshop's gonna be like, look, Warhammer, just in time for the online version to be over. Depending on how long the dev cycle for 3 is. But I'm totally okay with that. Like, if they come out and they're like, hey, like, oh, I see that, like, your game is ending. Here's a new one. Like, I'm gonna be fucking hard agree. Yeah, 7th edition Demons of Chaos was fucking bullshit. It was good core rules, bad. Okay, that's fair. I will say that 8th edition's biggest issue, in my opinion, was the double flee rule. The double flee rule and the double flee rule and the cav rules. The cav rules of 8th edition, I will 100% agree, were garbage. Absolute garbage. Like, Games Workshop purposefully nerfed cav so hard that they were just unusable. And it sucked. Like, I will agree with anyone that feels that way. Alright, Hugh. You know Christmas will be Christmas, maybe 1 or 2 models. Like for what? Herald. Like for me personally, yeah, I intend on getting models for Christmas. That's my goal. As someone who rebased their entire Beastman army to Age of Sigmar, I don't care about this at all. I'm glad for those who want it, but the old game is dead to me. Love the new system. Nigel, that's fair. Especially as someone that's gone through the trouble of rebasing, that's totally cool. Plus, I will say, Nigel, I think the Beastmen got one of the best deals for going into Age of Sigmar. Like, they got a much nicer army roster. And, like, new models and new rules. And they're actually amazing now, and just a bunch of other stuff. I think, so I would say Beastmen players, yeah, absolutely. I can totally see how you feel that way. Beastmen were one of, like, the hardest screwed, because they never got an 8th edition book. Because Games Workshop was like, oh, finishing 8th edition? No, we can't be bothered to do that. That's too much work. Yeah, there should be enough firepower to finish them off. Let's put our banner on our greatswords. Giga Slayer, yeah! Man, I want to have like a party popper for every time someone comes in and they're just like, oh my god! This is literally the best day ever. Like, I'm so excited. I actually wouldn't mind if C were to go right for AOS when they finish Warhammer 3. I wouldn't mind it per se, but I would honestly like to take a little bit of a break directly after Fantasy. I think there are more interesting things they could attempt to do first. Like, I would really like to see them. I want them to keep a non-historical focus on whatever, on like a IP, but I would really like to see them tackle something a little different first. Because the way I see it is the longer they give the technology to advance, the more likely, or the more Age of Sigmar is going to be better. And the thing is, a game like Age of Sigmar is going to suffer very heavily from... A game like Age of Sigmar needs to release at its absolute height, you know, as far as, like, development is concerned. So that's one of those games I really want them to take their time with. At least for me personally. I'd like to see it, don't get me wrong. I really want to play Nighthawks on computer. Like, I am so excited. It's just, I think for Age of Sigmar, the big thing for me is I want there to be a good set of AOS games to come out first to, like, get the world used to it. And especially with Fantasy being re-released, I think that's going to help a lot of people who really hate Age of Sigmar right now, because they view it as having killed Fantasy, even though it's not really Age of Sigmar's fault, per se. So, yeah, hopefully that makes sense. Because, I mean, even in this, like, I'm not saying anybody's being unreasonable, but even in this chat, there are clearly some people who, like, really, really, really dislike Age of Sigmar, you know. And this is, like, really good Warhammer Fantasy news. But, like, more than likely, when Warhammer 3 comes out, it's probably going to be supported for, like, a really good long while. So, like, and that's the other thing, is that, you know, it's probably going to be a good number of years before we're, like, done with Warhammer 3. So this is the best day of the year. This is the best year. This is the best day of the decade. God. Like, Games... I'm like I said, I find it funny that Games Workshop even brought it up, to be frank. But I'm so glad that they did. Like, I am so excited. And it also makes me feel a lot better about supporting them by buying Age of Sigmar stuff lately. What killed many people's views on Age of Sigmar was riding your invisible horse while having... Afnord, I 100% agree with you on that. The way they handled going into Age of Sigmar was atrocious. It was a slap in the face to all the Warhammer Fantasy fans, and that was the biggest reason a lot of people hated it. Thankfully, that's not the case anymore, and all of the Warhammer Fantasy guys still have rules in Age of Sigmar that you can use, and they're not ridiculous anymore. Better than the Total War Warhammer announcement? No, I'll admit the Total War Warhammer announcement was better. The Blitz Mister Warhammer Fantasy's coming back, dude. They're bringing it back. Baby got back. In the best way. Like, this is the best timeline.
I am ready. Are you?
Did I know about this beforehand? No. I literally woke up, or I didn't wake up, but I was working on something that I can't tell you guys about yet, and I was just minding my own damn business, and I saw that somebody flagged me on Discord, looked at it, saw what it was, and I, like, practically crapped my pants. So, like, I had no earthly idea. You're too white to say baby got back, please no.
Welcome, men of the
Thanks for the
Empire.
vote of confidence, I appreciate it. You're so supportive.
The Empire. Greetings, my countrymen. Do you come in peace on this fine...
Like, oh my god, I can't believe they're doing it. I keep like, my adrenaline just keeps going boop, boop, boop every little once in a while. Do we know the Warhammer Armies project? I'm aware of it, yes. Yeah, Rage Cage! It's back! They got tired of the not money-making strategy for destroying the old world for no reason. I think it's more of... Well, and to be fair to Games Workshop, the people that decided that Fantasy wasn't worth keeping around and they destroyed it all got fired by the current people that we have now. Like, there was a horrible set of people working at Games Workshop. They were losing tons of money because they didn't understand how to run the company, and it was a complete shit show, and it was a nightmare. And that was just the way it was. And those are the guys who decided to get rid of Fantasy. And now the guys who took over for Age of Sigmar and have done an amazing job with it, they're the ones who have decided to bring Fantasy back. Tyler Nikos, there's a link in the description of this thing, which is also next to the donation stuff for anyone who's interested. But there's a link in the description that'll take you to the announcement. This morning, Games Workshop announced that they are bringing back Warhammer Fantasy. They say it's probably not going to be back for like 2 years ish, but they've 100% confirmed that it is coming back, and it is the best possible news on Earth. You feel like what an orc does before a fight? Yeah, man. I really want to control this so I can own this province.
It is time.
Okay, this is going to rebel soon, so we need to go down there. And I can't live stream forever today because I do have to do stuff. But this is amazing. Maybe we'll finally get lore from any of the places we see on the Realm of Chaos map. Yeah, man. We might also get a new Mordheim. Yes, we might get a new Mordheim, which would be awesome. Do you think they'll make more books set in Warhammer Fantasy? Yes. Phoenix Kelly, I think that is the major reason, or I think that's the main idea, and probably why they've been re-releasing all the books as Omnibuy, is that they're going to go back and start focusing on a lot of stories again. Why would they announce it so far out? I have no idea. I mean, I'm sure there's a reason. Maybe it's to try and calm a lot of the communities that want fantasy and like hate Age of Sigmar, because there is a lot of animosity there. So maybe, maybe that has something to do with it. I don't know. They didn't give any reasons. Actually, that's not true. The biggest reason they gave is that the Horus Heresy is finally ending. Like the Horus Heresy, which has been going on for like a freaking eternity, it's been going on forever, is finally about to end very, very soon. And it seems that they've decided that what they want to do with all of the resources they've been pouring into the Horus Heresy, they now want to pour into Warhammer Fantasy in a similar style. Though to what extent of a similar style, we have yet to see. Hey, Shadow Online Gaming, how you doing, man? It's been a while. Hope you're doing okay, brother. Sure, I'll welcome migration.
The Empire.
Because I hate my own public order. Yes, let's arrange favors. Money is power. The Merchants Guild. Let's arrange favors for them so that I can get some prestige. Or authority, sorry. So this gives us a chance to get goodies.
My potential. Step to it.
Okay.
I am the Supreme Patriarch.
Oh, we can get the Eldred's Guard. Nice. Alright, and then let's fuse some of these units.
Of course.
Because my casualty replenishment rate is super crap right now. Oh good, I've unlocked the second tier. Okay, so we can... The Rebellion's not going to attack me the turn it comes out. So let's get rid of the Spearmen to replace with better Spearmen. And let's drop some Archers to replace with Crossbows. Yeah, it could be to gauge the reaction. Do you think they will... What do you think they'll do with the end times? So, I think the best case scenario is that they... I think the best case scenario is that they look at the end times and they say, okay, so the end times happened, but we're going to retell it over a much longer period of time with a lot more detail so that it actually makes sense, and we're going to have the writers talk to each other so there aren't a ton of contradictions, and we're going to give you the canonical story that's actually accurate. Which a part of me is a little bit scared about because there were some things they decided to start doing in the end times that really screwed with a lot of the older lore. But, we'll roll with those punches. Great Scholar, that is 100% accurate. Gotrek and Felix TV show? Dude, that would be the best thing ever. Oh, you're sick? That sucks, dude. I hope you get better soon, Shadow. Yeah, oh, that's true. That is true, Dread Nautilus. Yeah, one of the major plot points of the Gotrek, the new Gotrek books, is that Gotrek just hates Age of Sigmar. What happened to the A-Peak series? It's still being worked on. It's just been really slow. I have had a very, very difficult time motivating myself to get it done, unfortunately.
Waste my potential.
There's no like fancy excuse or anything to it. It's
Very
just
well.
it's
I'll
just been a very personal struggle, unfortunately.
Ready.
I have a very hard time with stuff like that sometimes, and it sucks. You know, it's like I'll stare at a computer screen and my brain will be like, you should write something. And I'm like, I should. And then I just sit there for like hours and nothing happens, and it sucks and I hate it. It's like, it's probably one of the hardest things I have to deal with on like a pseudo-regular basis. Let's do that so I can counter that chaos corruption that I, of course, invited in on myself because I'm an idiot. Eliza Yu, yeah. Hope you're enjoying it. Warhammer Fantasy is coming back. It's coming back! There's a description in the comment section below. They have announced that Warhammer Fantasy is returning. And it is the best news in the universe. They're bringing it back as a tabletop game with square bases, as it should be. And that's all we know for sure. Hopefully they'll be also releasing more lore and stories and other stuff like that. But the world can rejoice and breathe a sigh of relief. Because now, whenever someone says, man, I really love Total War Warhammer and I'd love to get into the tabletop game, no longer do we have to tell them, oh, you have to play Age of Sigmar instead. Now we can tell them, if you want, you can check out Age of Sigmar, but you can just wait a little bit. A little bit. Do you think this will be Forge World Runner or Games Workshop proper? I think it's going to be Games Workshop proper, Cold Shoulder, because they're bringing. It seems like they're bringing back the full tabletop game, and Forge World does not have the capacity to make full armies. They suck at that. Forge World is really good at making like very large models, though Games Workshop has also gotten really good at that lately. Forge World specializes in basically the super big models and like the crazy detailed character dioramas. Oh gosh. I will send a military force. This does not look winnable. I'm gonna be honest. They have a Hell Pit Abomination. I don't have a general. Or he doesn't have a general. I have an Arc Lector, but he's level 1. I guess I'll try. Probably should have just auto-resolved it and crossed my fingers. Forge World runs the Horus Heresy. Well, when they say they're doing Horus Heresy-esque for fantasy, I don't think they mean they're literally doing it the exact same way. I think what they mean is that... but we have walls. Okay, we can win this. We can totally win this. It won't be easy, but it's doable. I didn't realize we had walls. All I have to do is take out the Plague Claw Catapult. We should be okay. The Hell Pit might be a little tricky, but I think we can manage it. Oh, if I could start on the walls, this would be so much more helpful. But let's move, people! Let's move!
In the name of Sigma!
Hustle.
Without delay! Keeping distance, sir!
Hustle, damn you.
Say. Avoiding combat! Quickly now! Sigma
To the walls!
is
To the
over.
walls! Gotrek and Felix's story in fantasy is done. Well, I mean, they could always release, like, in-between stories. That wouldn't be that hard for them. Okay, so we're going to send our swordsman to activate... If I can... There we go. Those towers. We're going to send the Arc Lector and the handguns and the spears to help out at this gate. And this, they're just gonna have to do their best over there. Yeah, hopefully those archers will focus it. Let's get these swordsmen up here to fight these clan rats. Let's move, people! Let's move! Doesn't look winnable. Sums up 40k in fantasy in a nutshell. Yeah, right? Where are you going? They're about to bust through the door.
What do you bid?
Oh, this is gonna get really ugly.
Gunners!
Where are you going? Come back!
Eager for battle!
Oh gosh.
At your
Open
service!
fire!
Shalia protects us! Awaiting orders!
I need that catapult down. Oh jeez.
Missiles ready, my friend!
Shoot the big thing! Fire, damn it, fire!
Ready to serve!
Shoot! Destroy the catapult! Keep firing! Keep firing! What is this fantasy coming back about? So, earlier today, that guy just got pinballed. Earlier today, Games Workshop officially announced that Warhammer Fantasy is being brought back. They said that sometime in vaguely the next 2 years, give or take, probably longer than that to be honest, they are bringing back Warhammer Fantasy, and that is the best news imaginable, and I'm so excited. Okay, we need these guys to fall back a bit, because it looks like we're about to get terrified here. Is that a... I don't know what that is. Alright, now we're at a safe distance. Bring it down! Bring it down! Our collector's doing okay. Spearmen, to the front! To the front! So just curious, guys, just to get some of your thoughts and ideas. If y'all could pick, what would y'all be most excited to see come back for fantasy? If you got to like pick something. Don't heal. Don't heal. Shoot, damn it! Oh, God, we're blocked.
For the twin-tailed comet! Ready, my lord! All ranks fire!
One more volley. Shoot! Oh, shit!
And gunners!
Run away!
To battle! Immediately! For
He cheated! Run away!
and gunners! Take the
Oh, God, run away! Help me, AI! Do your fucking job!
Show us the foe! And gunners! Awaiting your command! Quickly! Understood!
the AI wasn't stupid, we would have probably been able to win this. If the AI had kept its spearmen in the gate, I think we would have been alright. But no, he had to frickin' run all the way back here and abandon me like a jerk. Also, if that help had not got its healing proc, that would have been very, very helpful.
Withdraw!
Well, I tried mid-time.
By Ulrich's wrath! Rebels aim! We're ready! Hand gunners!
Oh, those handgunners are super screwed.
What do you bid?
I probably should have just not bothered with the Blade Claw Catapult. Just gonna speed up time. For real, it's really coming back? And what... Mads, we don't know the exact details yet. All we know for sure is that they've said they are bringing it back. Like, Warhammer Fantasy is returning. And they're going to be treating it in a Horus Heresy like system in the vein that they in the vein that it's going to be about exploring all of the lore and the gameplay and all that stuff leading up to the end times. Oh, that cost me an authority? Wow, that's a load of bull.
I am ready. Are you? Onwards. You summon me.
Could use more like just super duper cheap infantry. Oh, awesome. We got local militia finished. Okay, let's get grain silos, and then after that we're going to start working on our actual upgrades. It's pretty obvious that Games Workshop is going to exploit the artwork made by Creative Assembly to update the look. That would actually be really funny. Like, Games Workshop just comes out and they're like, alright, so here's all the races you like, and all of the new units that Creative Assembly added, we are also adding those. All of the special characters Creative Assembly put in, we're adding those. Hey, Mads, how you doing? Will my boy Vaulton return? Maybe. I'd be kind of surprised to see Vaulton come back, but you never know. So fantasy lives once more? Yes! Fantasy is back! And I am so excited. I'm not even, I don't even know if excited is the right word. It's more like relieved. Like it's when I opened it for the first time, I had legit, like, it took a lot of effort for me to not like almost start bawling on the spot. Like, I just couldn't believe it. Do nothing or side with them. I will do nothing because I don't care as much about midnight.
Who calls?
Okay, this place is going to rebel this turn. I'm going to do that so I can heal a little faster. Ditch that dude. Grab one of those. Kara Kieran can upgrade. Hooray. It's like your parent died, but then you find out years later they're alive. I don't know if it's quite that extreme, but yeah. Nicholas M, yeah, I feel that, man. So the end times is scrapped? No, because Age of Sigmar still has to happen. So everything that leads up to Age of Sigmar happened. It's just that they're going back. It's kind of like WoW Classic. Think of it as like WoW Classic. They're basically creating a game that lets you go back to enjoying everything you loved, but it doesn't change the actual narrative or anything like that. Nothing in Age of Sigmar will change. So the end times still has to happen. But hopefully this means that we're just going to get to see just a lot more amazing stuff. I wish that they would just say that, yeah, these are alternate universes. I mean, they might say that if it does really, really well. That's the only way I could see that happening. Is if, like, financially it does super duper well. And they're like, oh shit, people really like this. And then they just come out and just, like, split them. But that would be very weird. Ghoul Slayer is meh. Oh, you didn't like Ghoul Slayer? I enjoyed Ghoul Slayer for what it was. Rebel against me? I don't think so.
I shall be victorious.
Get slapped! Execute captives. Oh, Apprentice Wizard. Oh, and a Scroll of Power. Nice. Awesome. Those are actually really, really good.
Waste my potential.
Okay, let's pick up Arcane Conduit and let's grab Route Marcher. And then I need to run to Kara Kieran.
It is best to move.
Curse Fanatic. Donate $10 says, been dying for stream, got laid off last week, but this news is certainly excellent and improves my mood immensely. Oh, I'm sorry to hear you got laid off, man. It's a bummer. I appreciate the donation, man. Make sure, I really appreciate it, but please make sure you're not, like, harming your own finances and stuff. I do really appreciate it, though. Thank you. Total War Warhammer 2 is the 32nd most played game on Steam. That's so awesome to hear. Lower Master of Sotek, would you rather appear on the Jerry Springer or Maury Povich show? Man, it's been so long since either of those have been in my mind. I would think Maury? I remember, if I remember right, Springer tended to be a little more ridiculous. Like, bizarre shit. Did I see Curiot's video about Astartes having its channel stolen? What? What is that? What do you mean channel stolen? I mean, I know YouTube has been doing some weird stuff lately. Like scary weird. I wonder if that's what that... Somebody tweeted me about something and I couldn't figure out what it was. Sotek, you a... What? The suspense, Mr. Iron Gut. He got hacked? Oh, no. Oh, dang. Okay, I guess I'm going to stop von Leibowitz by force. Changer of Ways! Ah, thanks so much for the $35 donation. Ah, dude, thank you very much. Hey, Sotek, you sound so happy you just had a stave execution. Master Hype. Thanks for the support, man. I appreciate it.
Very well. I will do this.
Chapter Master Valrek has more information. Dude, they got hacked? That sucks.
Very well. I'll move.
Man, I need to... Maybe I should
Let us begin.
do an update to change my password here today, just to be safe.
You summon me.
I imagine YouTube's just twiddling their thumbs about it, too.
I go where the wind
Fake
howls.
sponsorships, then hacking people's account and selling them. Whoa, that's super messed up, dude. And also kind of terrifying. You know, I've actually been getting a lot of emails about people wanting to like sponsor the channel and stuff like that. I haven't responded to any of them because none of them caught my interest. Squeak Cheese Taker, yes. If you go to the Warhammer TV YouTube account, or you go to Games Workshop's website and go to their community page, they have officially announced that somewhere in the next 2 years or so, they are bringing back Warhammer Fantasy. It's going to be playable on tabletop, square bases, all of your favorite beloved armies, and it's called Warhammer The Old World. I'm setting up a separate savings account strictly for fantasy miniatures. Dude, right? Alright, Gruski, I'll check it out. Thank you. Do you think there's a chance of getting early access factions from the new Total War or new tabletop to Warhammer? Maybe? I have no idea, dude. Oh, that's not friendly. We're being invaded by bald gentlemen. ETG View, thanks. Somebody sent it to me. Like Cathay, Celostra. Oh, yes. New Gamer, I really hope so, yes. Great Book of Grudges! How's it going, man? Oh no, let's do politics. Beastman. I would rather make the Empire happy. So. Oh, shoot. I don't have enough money for that.
I am ready. Are you?
And I don't have Lightning Strike.
Impossible. Now?
They're not close enough to my... Maybe I can ambush them.
Pick up the pace.
If I'm lucky. Go like
That's what
there. Has Gorok's weapon been added into single player? I'm not even gonna try to say that. I believe they've said it's gonna be in the next update. So whenever the Festag DLC comes out, I think that's when they're gonna be adding in all the missing magic items to single player. Is it the MMORPG or just tabletop? No Way Out, right now it's just the tabletop. There has not been any comments about any additional video games. Hey, Sotek, got a question. What is Malekith to Tyrion and Teclis family-wise? To Tyrion and Teclis, Malekith is technically... he's technically a many generation he calls them his cousins, but technically he's more like a half brother. Or actually, no. Would he be a cousin? Because he is their... oh my gosh, 3 armies? Is this campaign, like, just over? Retreat! I didn't know there was a 3rd one. Hopefully one of them had to march to get that far. Okay, it did. Good. We can salvage this. I think. Isn't there a Warhammer Fantasy mobile MMO coming out? Yes, there is, Reth. I've been keeping a vague eye on it. I'm always a little dubious of stuff like that. Cadaverful. Cadaverful. Thanks for the nice words, good sir. Changer of Ways, thanks so much again for the donation, man. I really appreciate it, and you have a great night. Cadaverful. A, thank you very much for the kind words. B, generally what I would recommend for people that are new and getting into it is to start with the Gotrek and Felix series. Gotrek and Felix is a great introduction to the lore of the setting. Okay, I have no choice. I have to, like, fight this massive horde. I should have just gone into my capital settlement. Does he have any war machines? Oh, gosh. Okay, he's got 1. But there's so many more of them than there are me. You know what? I think this is an excellent cliffhanger. Because I'm starting to feel bad because I need to eat. Thank you all so much for joining me. I'm going to put out like a really long thoughts video in a little bit. Or later today. Exhibit A on why you should always rush Lightning Strike. Yeah, I know, but it'll be a fun fight. We will... I'll put out like my big thoughts video on that later today. I'm going to put out the video tomorrow announcing who all the who would win fighters are. That way y'all can start to like make your bets and stuff and all sorts of other stuff coming up soon. So thank you all very much for watching. Huge thanks to Changer of Ways, Curse Fanatic, Aslo, and Italian Spartacus for the donations. Really appreciate it. Thank you for helping me keep the lights on. And I will see you guys all later today with some stuff. And Greenskin Q&A stuff will be resuming very, very soon. Hopefully I'll have one out later today. No promises. We'll see what happens. So yeah, see you guys then.